wake up in the middle of war-torn France. Rain hits the ground like distant artillery, and the only thing louder than your heartbeat is the silence. This isn't just another shooter. This isn't Carl Fairbairn's story anymore. This is Sniper Elite Resistance. And while it wears the uniform of its predecessors, something about it feels different, sharper, quieter, like a ghost in the fog waiting to strike. But here's the question. Does it move the series forward? Or is it simply repackaging old tactics with cleaner execution? Is this just Sniper Elite 5.5? Or something that dares to surprise even longtime fans? You've got your rifle, you've got a mission, but behind the scope, there's something else. A creeping tension. A sense that maybe this time, the fight isn't just about bullets and bodies, it's about control. About isolation. About watching the world burn from 800 yards away and still feeling powerless. So, before you pull the trigger, ask yourself, is the same war we fought before? Or is it finally starting to hit closer to home? Let's find out. You're not Carl Fairbairn this time. No gravel-voiced legend with a 1,000-yard stare. You're Harry Hawker, a dirt-under-the-nails British saboteur embedded deep within the French resistance. Less myth, more muscle. He doesn't have much to say, but his actions, loud enough to speak for themselves. From the very first mission, you're not being guided. You're being dropped. No hand-holding, no scripted shootouts. Just you, a rifle, and a map sprawling with possibilities. There are 8 missions total, and some of them are enormous. Massive sandboxes packed with opportunities to improvise, experiment, and absolutely wreck the Nazi war machine from the inside out. You might find yourself crawling through a hedge line to set up the perfect long-distance shot, or ghosting your way through a trench line under the cover of night. Slipping, past patrols unseen, or maybe you toss subtlety out the window entirely, rigging explosive traps and watching chaos erupt like wildfire. Every level is a playground of destruction, but only if you know how to play it. The objectives? Sure, there's a checklist. But how you reach those objectives, that's where the real game lives. Main missions blend seamlessly with side goals, blowing up supply lines, recovering intel, or sabotaging experimental weapons hidden in bunkers too deep for daylight. And about that story, let's be honest, it's thin. You're chasing whispers of a secret Nazi superweapon, the kind that could end the war or the world. It's enough to keep you moving, but just barely. This campaign doesn't pull at your heartstrings, it sharpens your instincts. In Sniper Elite, resistance, narrative, takes a back seat to freedom. And in that silence, something brutal, something beautiful begins to emerge. This is where Sniper Elite, resistance stops pretending and starts delivering. Whether you're a meticulous sniper who calculates wind drift like a physicist, or someone who just wants to line up the shot and feel that slow-motion satisfaction, this game meets you where you are. The level of customization here is downright impressive. Want full realism with no assists and enemies who spot you from half a mile away? It's there. Prefer to play it like a stealthy action flick with more forgiving mechanics? That's an option 2. It's not just about choosing how hard the game is, it's about choosing how you want to experience the battlefield. You can tweak everything. Enemy awareness, bullet physics, how much damage you take, how deadly you are. The result? A sniper experience that's yours, not just the developer's idea of one. But let's talk about that shot, that moment. You line it up, deep breath, trigger squeeze, boom, there's weight behind it. From the subtle rumble of your controller, to the sound design that turns every sniper shot into a cinematic payoff. It just feels good. And if you're playing on PS5, those DualSense triggers, yeah, they're doing overtime. The tension when you aim, the pop when you fire, it's like the controller becomes part of the weapon. And yet, for all its realism and power, this game shines brightest when you slow down. When you stalk, when you wait, when you treat every bullet like it matters. Because in Resistance, it's not just about pulling the trigger, it's about knowing when not to. Every sniper knows the shot doesn't always go clean. Sometimes, the gun jams. And in Sniper Elite, Resistance, a few systems could have used a bit more oil. First off, the cover system. Clunky. You'll find yourself snapping to walls like a magnet when you don't want to, and struggling to vault over a waist-high box when you desperately do. It's the kind of thing that pulls you out of the moment. 1 second, you're a stealth god. The next, you're doing a weird stutter step against a crate, climbing ladders, occasionally a puzzle of its own, and those stealth kill animations, oof! Enemies sometimes teleport into position just to get stabbed, snapping awkwardly into place like they're auditioning for a mannequin challenge. But here's the silver lining, the AI. It hits that delicate balance between challenge and manipulation. They're smart enough to keep you on your toes, but dumb enough to fall for a bottle toss or misdirection when you need it. So yeah, there are rough edges. But none of them break the game. If anything, they just remind you. Even the cleanest shot comes with a little recoil. This is where Sniper Elite. Resistance stops playing safe and starts showing off. The level design doesn't just serve the gameplay, it amplifies it. These aren't just backdrops for your war crimes. These are living, breathing war zones that demand your creativity. One mission drops you in a thunderstorm, straight out of Chaos Theory, lightning cracking above as you creep through soaked terrain. Another places you high in a war-torn cathedral, the perfect sniper's perch, watching over an unsuspecting city below. Then there's the sprawling French castle, the vast dam, the city square begging for ambush tactics. Each space is layered, vertical, and teeming with possibilities. But here's the thing, none of it is scripted. These aren't quick-time events or cinematic set pieces you watch unfold. They're moments you create on the fly, by adapting, improvising, reacting. You might cross a quiet street and suddenly find yourself face-to-face with an armored convoy. Or slip out of a tunnel, only to surface dead center in a Nazi outpost, guns raised. Every level feels like a puzzle, and you're the missing piece. Want to clear it clean and silent? You can. Want to cause chaos and vanish like a ghost? Do it. There's a rhythm to these maps, a tension that builds as you move through them. They don't just challenge your aim, they test your instincts. And when it all clicks, it's less like playing a game, and more like directing your own gritty war movie. What makes Resistance more than just another sniper sim? It's the toys, and how you use them. You've got the essentials. Suppressed pistols, scoped rifles, machine guns. But dig deeper and you'll find a toolkit built for creativity. Armor piercing, rounds, decoy grenades, trip mines, sticky bombs, bottles to distract, lures to bait. It's just the right amount of gear, not too overwhelming, but enough to make you feel dangerous in a dozen different ways, mid-mission and need a switch-up. Hit a workbench. You can customize your loadout on the fly. Swap scopes, tune barrels, mod your firepower to fit the mission or your mood. It's smooth, intuitive, and incredibly satisfying. And then there's the replay value. Missions aren't one-and-done affairs. You'll unlock new entry points, discover alternate routes, and find hidden objectives that change how the map unfolds. It's got that Hitman DNA, inviting you to return, experiment, and perfect the kill. Because in Sniper Elite, Resistance, success isn't just about getting the job done, it's about doing it your way, and coming back to do it even better. There's a certain poetry to a perfect shot. In Sniper Elite, Resistance, combat isn't just functional, it's cinematic. You line up your target as artillery rumbles in the distance, wait, then fire, letting the boom of a nearby cannon mask your kill. It's calculated, cold, beautiful. But not every encounter is quiet. Sometimes the mission spirals, grenades fly, you're clearing hallways with a Thompson, ducking into cover mid-reload. And yet, even in that chaos, the game flows. Every gunfight has its own rhythm, like a firefight choreographed just for you. And yes, the X-ray kill cams are still here, gloriously grotesque. You'll see skulls fracture, lungs collapse, hearts rupture, all in glorious slow-motion detail. You can dial them up, tone them down, or turn them off. But let's be honest, you probably won't. Because in Resistance, the battlefield isn't just where you survive, it's where you make art. Violent, satisfying art. Let's be clear, Sniper Elite. Resistance isn't a bold reinvention. It's not breaking the mold or rewriting the sniper rulebook. What it is, though, is sharper, smoother, less buggy, a refined, more confident version of what came before. If you've played Sniper Elite 5, you'll feel right at home here. Just with a little more polish and a few smart tweaks around the edges. It doesn't push boundaries, but it does double down on what works. Large sandbox maps, rewarding stealth, crunchy combat. For longtime fans, that's more than enough. For newcomers, it's a solid entry point into the franchise. So if you came looking for a revolution, you might walk away wanting. But if what you really wanted was more of the good stuff, Resistance doesn't just show up, it delivers. This might feel like a solo sniper fantasy. Until you realize Resistance doesn't want you going it alone. You can team up with a buddy for the full campaign in seamless co-op. 2 snipers, 1 battlefield, a whole lot of synchronized chaos. There's something undeniably cool about silently coordinating a takedown from opposite rooftops, or accidentally blowing each other's cover and improvising your way out with grenades and grit. Then there's the return of the invasion mechanic, that delicious cat-and-mouse twist where another real player can enter your world as an enemy sniper. Suddenly, your perfect plan falls apart. Suddenly, the hunter becomes the hunted. If you're looking for more traditional chaos, Resistance also throws in a competitive 16-player multiplayer mode. It's functional, wide open, and surprisingly fun, if you're into that kind of thing. And let's not forget the propaganda missions. These are tight, high-pressure scenarios with specific goals, like landing 20 sniper kills in 60 seconds, or pulling off flawless stealth runs in the heart of a Nazi-held city. Whether you're sniping solo, pairing up in co-op, or getting hunted by a ghost with a scope. Resistance proves that war might be fought alone, but it's way more fun when someone's watching through their own sights. Sniper Elite. Resistance isn't the bold new chapter that reinvents the genre. It won't change how you think about stealth games. It doesn't try to, but what it does well. It's sharp, it's brutal, it's unapologetically focused on the thrill of the shot. And when it hits, that moment when time slows, the bullet sails, and bones shatter, it hits hard. This is the kind of game that knows its audience. If you're a fan of the series, this is exactly what you came for. More of the sandbox carnage you love, just tuned tighter and with fewer bugs to get in your way. For everyone else, maybe hold off, wait for a sale, let it sneak onto Game Pass or PlayStation Plus, because no, it's not perfect. But it doesn't have to be. So, what about you? Are you already deep in enemy territory, scope locked on your next target? Or are you still waiting for the franchise to take that next big leap? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I want to hear from you. Until then, stay low, stay sharp, and aim true. At the end of the day, Sniper Elite, Resistance won't change your life, but for a few hours, it might remind you why games like this still matter. Not because of the gore, not even because of the kill cams, but because there's something powerful, almost meditative, about being alone, behind enemy lines, with only your instincts and a rifle between you and total chaos. And in a world that often feels loud, overwhelming and out of control, that silence, that one perfect shot, feels like peace. Now it's your turn. Did you dive in? Or are you still waiting for something bolder? Drop your thoughts in the comments. And if this helped you decide, or gave you something to think about, hit that like. And maybe, just maybe, share this with someone who loves the quiet thrill of a well-placed shot. Until next time, stay low, stay patient, and keep watching the wind.